Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Wetzel, and I channel information from the Akashic Records. And we are at the end of February, moving into March. And so I'm going to ask the Akashic Masters what we can expect in March and what's currently happening and transitioning with us. So let's go ahead and get started. They're saying what we want you to know is that February has been a game changer. We want you to recognize that there has been much upheaval that is turning over. And what I'm seeing is somebody digging dirt and digging down in the dirt and with a shovel and then dumping the dirt out of a hole. They're saying what we want you to recognize is that this is a significant time in personal growth for individuals to recognize who they are and what they can become. We want you to see that the shift in the transition and the energetic patterns that lie upon the earth at this particular time are causing great chaos within the internal value of who humans see themselves as. We want you to understand that the grid that lies beneath the surface of the earth has been highlighted and has been ignited. We want you to recognize that this has occurred in a way that is to transmit more frequency, so that the humans are being inundated with a higher ground frequency so that they can find themselves getting more grounded within the earth. That will help to show clearer sight and vision. The mind will become less confused and the eyes will begin to open. What we want you to recognize is that the veil is being removed so that humans can see themselves in a grander light than what once was. We also want you to recognize that the earth grid is also creating a magnetic consistency that is between the earth and the magnetic grid that we call the atmospheric grid. We want you to recognize that these powers are beginning to align and create a more cohesive fit that will allow, once again, the humans to transition out of old ways and begin to recognize that newer ways are at hand. We also want you to see that the human nature is beginning to destruct. We want you to understand that March has an energy pattern that is creating more chaos, more confusion, and more upheaval than what the humans have seen in the days past. We want you to understand that this will be occurring more on the internal. What I'm seeing is it's the internal upheaval and chaos. And even though there are situations and circumstances that appear on the outside realm, meaning things that are happening around us, understand that they're being instigated at this particular time so that it will cause upheaval and confusion within the human body so that it can begin to understand that there must be a shift in order to create more cohesive peace. We also want you to recognize that the particles that are shifting timelines are becoming greater and greater. We want you to understand that they are vibrating at a faster rate than what they have been, and this is creating different dimensions of consciousness. You'll soon begin to recognize that the internal aspects of who each and every one of you will be vibrating at a higher frequency, and you'll begin to understand that you will be more connected to other realms of consciousness. This is common for even the average man. What we want you to see is that the disillusion or the thickness of the veil again is being removed. And what I'm seeing is like something that looks like an old camera that, well, I'll tell you, it's a better way to look at it as a something that's sliding into a slot that is like a card. And it may be more like an X-ray machine or something, like you stick an X-ray in this component. And they're saying the photographs are being changed and altered to be from what they were to what they're going to be. We want you to recognize that the illusion of what is on the physical plane is now shifting so that the individuals can see more clearly, as if looking into the X-ray. So it's almost like when we're looking at one another, we see the solid mass. Like when you're looking at me, you see my skin, and it stops there. You can't see internally. But what's shifting is that this veil is being removed so that we can see through things. And it's more like being able to see through false words, being able to see through manipulation, being able to see through anything that's clouding our vision. It's like the fog is lifting. And so what we want you to understand is that all humans upon the earth are being affected by this shift and change. We also want you to recognize that, once again, the cellular capacity to vibrate at a higher level is being implemented. And they're saying, but we also want you to recognize is that the atoms that are in the atmosphere are also speeding up. This is creating a faster time frame. You'll begin to recognize that time seems to be flying by, but what we also want you to understand is that it is. There's no longer the illusion of specific time frames, but it's becoming more cohesive, that time is a continual flow and it doesn't stop and start. We also want you to recognize that the energetic patterns that are being implemented throughout the Earth's atmosphere is creating more cohesion between one another, meaning all of the cohesion between the earth, the animals, the water, the sky, the plants, humans, and all beings. And I'm even seeing like galactic beings and star beings and all of these different, all of the beings, all of the things are this particular meshing I see it like a weave. It's like this weaving is going in and out. And if you look like at a piece of fabric, how the weave creates a solid fabric, like the shirt, there's a weave with the threads that create the fabric. And they're saying it's the interweaving of the threads that are making the fabric of life become more cohesive and more coherent. And what we want you to understand is that, once again, there is upheaval that's happening, but it is creating the connectedness of the weaves of the fiber. And this is what we want you to understand. March is going to be chaotic, and it's going to be there's going to be turmoil that will be happening within the month of March. But what we also want you to recognize is that, once again, this is all for meaning and purpose. It's shaking things up so the humans can get different perspectives on who they are, what they value, and what they see as important. We also want you to recognize that it's pushing individuals to a place of breaking, so that they can see different alternatives in the way that they've been living. And this is monumental. We want you to know that you are all in our hands. You are all falling into the pattern and the rhythm of what's shifting and changing. The more that you open your mind to let go of old false beliefs, the more that you will fall into the rhythm of the universal flow. We also want you to recognize that as the place of surrender can transpire, you will find more flow and easy access to the truth of who you are by letting go of what once was. And this is extremely important. As the human realm is shifting, we ask you to no longer hold on to the ideas and the thought of what once was, but allow the new to begin. And this is what we're saying. And what we also want you to recognize is that the old structures are being broken down, but they're being rebuilt, and they will be rebuilt in a way that is more cohesive to the human nature of love and kindness. We also want you to recognize that the shift in understanding oneness is coming forth in a way that you can't currently understand, but all will prevail. The love and the light that surrounds the earth and in the atmosphere is raining down upon each and every one of you so that you can see yourselves with more love and compassion. We also want you to recognize that it is your choice to choose which direction that you choose to go in. However, you cannot alleviate or hide from the love that is being provided to you. You just simply need to recognize that it is there and it's available when you are ready. But what we also want you to understand is that the earth is shifting, and it is rotating at a faster speed, and all will be changing in the days to come. But what we also want you to recognize is that there is no need to be afraid or to be fearful of what each individual is experiencing. It's just simply the recognition of changing directions. And this is what we want you to know today. And so what I'm seeing is that, so first of all, I'm seeing that the earth grid, like in the past, whenever I visualize the earth grid, and again, this is just for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but when I see the grid that's around the earth, I see it as a beautiful omniscient light. But I've seen that in the earth grid, there's been dim places that don't shine as brightly as others. What I'm seeing is that all of that beautiful energy is being amplified, and the places that were dimmer are they're saying they're regaining balance and they're becoming brighter. And what they were talking about, the earth atmospheric grid, back at the end of September, I did a video on the atmospheric grid that was being put in place, and it's in direct connection with the earth grid, and it was creating the magnetic pull that was helping to pull up the dark, heavy, negative energy that surrounds us. And so what they were saying, and I'm really kind of seeing it like it's locking in. It's like the earth grid's down here in the atmospheric, and I'm seeing it just like kind of twist. It's like it just locked into place. And the pull between the two to start picking up these particles, this dark energy, heavy energy, to lifting it up is kicking in, and it's becoming more and more powerful. And so what I'm also seeing is that because of this, I keep seeing atoms, and these atoms that are circling around, and I see them circling around the earth. They're getting, and I'm sure it's not just atoms, I'm sure it's protons and neutrons and the whole deal, but I'm not scientific, so bear with me. But what I'm seeing is that they're circling the earth, but they've just picked up speed. And they're going to be circling faster and faster and faster. And that's also going to start changing and shifting the way that we feel. They're saying, again, it's going to pick up that energy vibration to where we feel lighter, basically not heavy and dense like we have been, but a little bit light. They're laughing and saying they'll be lighter in your step. But basically, it's decreasing the density of our physical bodies. But it's also working on our minds to let go of some of these old past belief systems and these things that we're holding on to so tightly that are keeping us dense and heavy. So they're saying that we have set in play the tools to help guide you to enlighten or lessen your beliefs to be controlled or restricted. And so what we want you to understand is that this time you can choose to do with this what you want to. So again, we're having this shift that's taking place. And actually today is February the 24th, and I felt it happening this morning. I could feel that there was some kind of a shift and something was speeding up. And this morning when I was thinking about it, I felt like time was speeding up. And so that's kind of what they're saying, is that something is shifting in the atmosphere that is allowing us to pick up, speed up, let go of this old, heavy, dense energy. But in the meantime, there's a lot of crazy chaos that's going on around us. Now, You understand that there's a lot of stuff going around the whole entire earth. It's not just where I'm located, it's everywhere around the earth. People are looking at themselves. They're finding maybe there's controversy between you and friends, or you're not fitting in the old way. Some stuff is happening. There's turmoil and chaos, losing jobs, changing your ideas because your belief systems are changing so that you don't fit in the old structure anymore. Maybe relationships are falling apart because of the differences in belief systems. All of these things are really going to be emphasized because of the speed and energy that's happening. And so if you find yourself really struggling and trying to figure out the chaos and the stuff that's happening around you that you may not feel comfortable with, really look at it and look at, why is this affecting me the way that it is? What's happening within me that I feel like it's harder on me? Or is this something that I need to shift away from? Do I need to change relationships? Do I need to change jobs? Do I need to find new belief systems or the new way of being? Because basically belief systems are being broken down to nothing, that there aren't going to be no more belief systems. We're going to live more in alignment with the truth of who we are. So, and you guys can define what you feel like the belief systems is with that. But what we want you to understand is, again, there's going to be a lot of chaos and turmoil in the month of March. And March will be an opening portal or port for you to walk through the portal of a higher dimension of consciousness. So I also want to remind you that it was at the beginning of January, that this portal to the fifth dimension was basically put in place and opening so that we would have more freedom to start going in this direction. It's there and it's waiting for us. We just have to recognize what we need to let go of and what needs to change within us to be able to walk through that portal. Everything is available to you. Everything is here. But again, you are going to feel some uncomfortable things come to you. So just recognize that stuff's going to be happening. And once again, stuff is getting turned over. And I'm seeing, once again, the shovel that's digging down into the soil and being taken out to, and turned over. So if you find that you're really kind of struggling through the month, just be sure and recognize, take some deep breaths, recognize what is really happening. Try not to get up in your head and go a little crazy. Rein it back in and really focus on what's really happening here. What do I need to look at in a different perspective? And how do I need to change the course or the direction of my life or how I'm living? This is what March is for. So I hope that it's smooth for everyone. I want it to be smooth for everyone, but it's not going to be. So just again, understand that it's already in play, but it's going to be amplified. So again, thank you for joining me. I'm truly grateful for your time and for listening to what the Akashic Masters have to say. I do also want to throw out there, to you guys, if you're ever interested in having a one-on-one conversation, I do provide private sessions, and you can go to my website. It's lisawetzel.com and just click on the bar menu and go to book a session, and I'd love to chat with you. So thank you again for listening.